Hi, everyone, and welcome to this episode of my Chiron series. In this episode, I'm going to be talking about what it means if you have Chiron in your seventh house in the birth chart. So, a quick rundown on what Chiron means, and this is not going to include all of the information on the lore of Chiron because I'd be here all day. But Chiron was a centaur and he was immortal. He couldn't die. Well, yeah, he was immortal. And he was struck by an arrow and he was in pain all the time. This pain from the arrow wouldn't go away. It was a poisoned arrow. It wouldn't go away. What often doesn't get mentioned with Chiron is that there's two wounds with Chiron. That's just one of them. The first one was he was abandoned by his parents when he was born. And that is an unconscious wound. That is a deep wound. That is a more psychic, emotional wound that he might not even be aware of on a conscious level, So there's a lot of pain there with Chiron. There's a lot of pain, and we all have Chiron. We all have it. And it hurts wherever it is, none of us get to escape, but I would say that when Chiron is in one of the angular houses, it tends to pack more of a punch. Also, if it's conjunct or making harsh aspects to, your personal planets. But Chiron in the angular houses, 1st, 4th, 7th, 10th, it tends to be a bit more of a big deal. Me personally, I have Chiron in the 10th house, and I very, very much relate to that and to that themes of struggle in that. So Chiron, so that pain, the strife, the discomfort, is a feeling of vulnerability, and it's like a gap in our armor. It's like we know, even on an unconscious level, if you don't know about astrology, it's like you feel it deep down. You're like, it's like an awareness of pain, So 7th house being the house of the descendant being the non-self, the other, significant other, typically romantic partnerships, but also close relationships of all kinds, friends, even family. Although it's not the house of family, it's like close one-on-one partnerships, business as well. So these close bonds that we have with people, these real close bonds, Chiron is here. So when we take the house of partnerships and we take Chiron pain, what do we get? Let's just add them together like math. What is it? It's painful relationships. That's what that is. Does it mean that we can't have happiness here, or can't have comfort? No, it doesn't mean that, but it means there's going to be some pain here. There's going to be some difficulty. There's going to be some strife. I mean, there is for everybody, with this stuff, of course, but it's like you might struggle more than the average person with these things. This is, I would say this is a karmic placement. Like, this is indicative of karmic encounters in this lifetime, Personally, I would say, yeah, that's connections and threads that we have with people from before, before this life, before this world, even different timelines if you want to go down that road. Because I believe, I believe a bunch of stuff, but Chiron in the 7th house, right? So you're going to get these people coming into your life, unfinished business. Maybe they got some issues, some karma with you. Maybe you got some stuff with them that needs to be resolved. And doing that and embracing this, it's like there's a transformation that takes place. There's a letting go. There's a becoming lighter as you process these encounters and this pain and this karmic energy here. So yeah, you might feel like this area of your life just doesn't go smoothly. You might feel like it can get complicated. You might find it hard to have these close bonds with people. You might find it hard to trust them. You might find that why should I trust them? And that's a perfectly valid thing to think. Like, if you've been hurt before, it's easy to say, like, oh, you should always trust people, and you should never, have your guard up, and you should, but it's like, yeah, but there's a reason you feel that way, so it's okay to feel that way. You know what I mean? It's like embracing that honesty and everything like that, and it's like, if that's how you feel, that's how you feel often. Our fear is trying to protect us, and there might well be some real valid reasons as to why you maybe feel that you need to protect yourself in this area of life, but it could cause difficulty in forming or keeping some of these connections and these relationships, particularly romantic relationships. It could be that these people, they might have issues, they might have substance abuse issues, they might have gambling issues, there might be infidelity in the relationship, they might hurt you. You might hurt them also. This could be about you learning to forgive other people, or to trust again, and to learn from past experiences. This could also be learning to trust yourself again, and learning that it's okay if you made mistakes, or if you hurt people, if you've grown, if you changed or whatever from that. It might be mutual. So it's like, yeah, it's only learning about experiencing and learning about forming from experiences of karma and pain, difficulty in close relationships. And when we have placements in the 7th house, often we project that onto the other person. So Chiron in the 7th house could be unique in that aspect, as in, like, when it's in the 7th house, we go, they have Chiron traits, they're chironic, if that's a word, chironic. If it's not, I just made it up. So Chiron being them, it might be that, like, well, that's not me, I'm not like that, that's what they're like. They're like Chiron, like, they're in pain, they got problems, they got all this complicated stuff. I'm fine, it's them. That kind of projection, that might be something that can happen, because when things are in the 7th house, we often project that onto the other people and think that what we see in them is exclusively in them, but really it's almost like they can often be mirroring back to us what we have inside us, what we resonate with and what we're on that same frequency with. We might see in other people, or even dislike in other people, parts of ourselves and things that we have and things that we do, project that onto other people. And with Chiron in 7th house, it's probably a bit of both. Like, it's probably like, yeah, like, you will have these people in your life who are like that, they have a lot of pain, and they're complicated, and things don't go easy. But there might also be like how you are as well, and that's okay. Like, it's fine. It's because we're learning to forgive ourselves. We're learning to trust ourselves. We're learning to forgive other people when it's appropriate. And that goes back to what I'm saying. It's like, if you do have this feeling of distrust or whatever, like, I would never say, like, well, you shouldn't feel that way, because, like, there's plenty of bad people out there, and there's plenty of reasons to be like, you have to be careful with forming close bonds with people. You have to be careful, because you do, you do. And so yeah, and there might be like a feeling of wanting to shut that area of your life down. Wherever Chiron is, sometimes it's just so much. It's like it's so painful, or we feel so vulnerable there. We're like, you know what? I don't even want to do it, because it's just gonna go wrong. It's gonna go wrong, and or I'm gonna be hurt again, that sort of thing, or I'm gonna let myself down again, And so that's like heavy stuff to live with. That's heavy stuff to deal with. It's not easy. It's not an easy placement, as I'm saying. Chiron in one of the angular houses. So Chiron's never easy, but when it's in the seventh house, that's your interpersonal relationships, that's close relationships, that's romantic relationships. And you got Chiron there, the wounded healer. I haven't mentioned the healing aspects. Chiron was very skilled in medicine, healing, and was very well educated. So it could be that you could be like a healer to your romantic partner or your close friendships. You could bring that energy to them. It's almost like they're going through some stuff or whatever, you help them, or you're going through some stuff, they help you. It's just that there's always going to be the pain mixed with the healing. It's never going to be like pure healer energy. Chiron, I believe first and foremost is more the pain and the discomfort, and then I think that's more primary with Chiron, and then the healing stuff is like more secondary, and it often happens from experiencing the pain, so yeah. So basically it's like, yeah, just learning not to be so overwhelmed, and it's okay if you do feel that way. It's all okay, there's no I would say, like, not to pressure yourself to be like, I need to let go of my overwhelm, I need to let go of my distrust. And it's not like that, because it's okay to feel those things, and then you learn to trust when you're ready. You learn to let go when you're ready. You learn to take the leap of faith when you're ready, and and when you're going to stop feeling overwhelmed when you're ready to, when it happens. You can't force these things, so just know that, like, if you are experiencing those things, it's like, yeah, it's like it's in your chart, it's there, it's like, it's going to happen, it's supposed to happen, happens for a reason. And yeah, it's like, it's not easy, but Chiron never is. And there's wisdom in suffering. There's healing from experiencing difficult times and pain and stuff like that, and coming through it, and that's gonna happen in the form of these relationships. So obviously take into account different things in your seventh house. Like, you might have Jupiter in the seventh house of Venus, you might have nice trines, real nice aspects in the seventh house, and that's going to offset, that's going to negate the harm, the harm that Chiron may cause, or but you also might have, like, Pluto, Mars in the seventh house as well with Chiron. That's going to be tough too. So obviously it depends on your sign as well, so just take all of that into account for a more holistic view. But this is just an overview of, like, what Chiron in the seventh house means in a general sense. So I hope you found it useful, and thanks for watching.